What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dave back. I don't got pops this week. Not this week, but no podcast today. But we got this big, beautiful bastard right here. It's possibly one of my favorite systems of all time. This, however, is the old Fat Boy, but it is not the day one that could play PS2 games. So that's fine though. It's okay. I have a PS2 for that. We don't need to rely on the PS3. So right here, I got a stack of games. I think it's about 11 or so. I actually got all of these games for pretty much $3 or $4, and there was maybe one or two that were maybe $9 that I'll get to. But all these are under $10 that I got, and maybe you can get them now for $10. The PS3 and 360 were actually really good systems. I know I talk a lot of crap about Xbox, but I'm just team PS4, and I'm by with the Nintendo. That's Nintendo been in my household forever, so that was actually our first console. Before that we had that, and then we got the Sega, I believe, and then the Game Gear and all that nonsense. So the first one, we got Batman, Arkham City. So I'm pretty for sure this is the first installment of this game series. So they have City, Origins. I know there's another one, and then the Arkham Knight on PS4, but I know there's another one on PS3, I believe. I know they made one for the VR. So this has a few games, in the series if you guys want to check it out. But the first one actually for me was the one that did it, because I remember playing this whenever it came out, and I remember how big it was, and I was like, geez, it's kind of simple with some of the gameplay, but the detective mode in it is just it's amazing, because it's everything you want to do, guys, like as Batman, you do in this game. And that's what I love about games, is whenever you make a character and you make it true and you go deep with it and you give him his own set of things, or you use a character that's already established, but you got to do it right all the way. And I love it. And we looking at this game, looking at the series, this is just one of the games that just has kept going, and I'm pretty sure there'll be one for the PS5 and stuff. So, in the Xbox Series X. So I don't think that this is a series that will die down anytime soon. People love the Batman games. I don't ever think that they have any mince words about it, because each time they always add better, nuances to the thing. And all the way up to Arkham Knight, you can actually start using the Batmobile. So, love it. Next one. Hopefully that's not another. There we go. So I'm not. This is actually something that was told me that I should play. I'm not actually disappointed, because I actually played Kingdom Hearts 3, and being on the boat kind of has the same feeling to it, and just the walking around, I'm kind of used to the open world games. And Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is pretty legit. I've played two of the Assassin's Creed games, but they were the first two a long time ago when the series first came out. So I'm no aficionado. I don't proclaim to know all, but I know somebody that likes this game and plays it, and I'm gonna give it a try out. But you can loot on this game. You can hire people to fight with you. You play on the ships. It's just obviously there's a whole you can enter and exit a memory, and that is kind of like a mission in a way, but they call it a memory because you are going into the Animus, which is like the system that lets them go into different time zones, is what I'm gathering again from playing this and seeing it be played. But I am thoroughly impressed with how this looks, even on PS3. Um, Assassin's Creed, the first one, just was slow for me, so that's why I fell off of the first two ones. And after I give you two tries on the game, I kind of like, you know. But they have obviously done better because I've actually played Origins and other things, and they've actually been really solid games. So this is definitely a game that out of the Assassin's Creed umbrella, before you go to the PS4, and this is actually remastered on the PS4, but it's actually cheaper on PS3. And if you're still trying to go back in time and playing the retro games like me, you don't really care about graphics too much, as long as the game has good substance, story, all those things besides just graphics. Up next, we got one of my favorite games, even though it is really like simple, and we'll get to that. But this is Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. And this actually okay, so crazy thing is the manga goes on and the anime is actually produced over in Japan and stuff before it gets over here to us. And when this game came out, we had no Dragon Ball Super yet over here. Yeah. Sub. Yeah. But as far as like the general population knew that wasn't hardcore into DBZ or anything, we didn't get introduced to Super, I believe, until, was it 2015, 2016? Maybe somebody can fact check me on that. And I think they recently just caught up to the end of Super. So Super has been over for about, I think, 3 years now. Maybe somebody can correct me on that. But yeah, I actually love this game. Sadly, it's super simple, as you guys seen from the menu. But what I love about this game is this DLC. This DLC, man, to give you Sage Mode Goku, and it says it on there. It says it. I didn't create this. This is a part of it. I got. When we come back, I'll show you from the footage, man. This game is really good to me because I can't remember if Ultimate Tenkaichi, which is the worst. I will play all of the older PS1 and Super Nintendo and Game Boy Dragon Ball Z games. As a matter of fact, I'm playing Dragon Ball Advance Battle right now over Ultimate Tenkaichi. That is the worst game of all time. This game, after going back and playing it and then playing Budokais and the Tenkaichis and now playing Kakarot, Battle of Z has some funky controls, man. Some funky controls. But it's a good thing to go through the tutorial. But I love this game because you can make a team full of Gokus, you can make a team full of Gohans. It's just strictly mission oriented. It has small little cutscenes here and there. It's not big on that, but that's me. I've seen all the DBZ cutscenes, and unless you go divulge into more of the movie cutscenes, I'm good. Kakarot did the best justice you could as far as graphic wise for cutscenes, so I'm cool on the cutscenes for the main story. I watch it every time. Don't get me wrong, but the opening for this that you guys saw for this is one of the main reasons why I love this game. Like, it didn't cost me much, so this is one of the games that did not cost me $3 or $4. It actually cost me like 7 or 8, but it's not really expensive right now, and I know PS3 games are trending towards being very expensive. So before we move on to the next one, though, right there, you see it. I'm not a liar, man. It says it actually on the front of the game. Maybe I can get that in there. If you can see that little circle right here, it says it right there, Naruto custom DLC inside. And the crazy thing is, I did not get this new. I don't remember where I got this from at the moment. I'll have to remember and maybe put it up or not. But I know it was used and the DLC codes still work. Now I can't remember if DLC codes were funky and they didn't were used like how PS4 knows like a system uses it now, but who knows? Maybe I just got lucky, which is even better and sweet. You know, we couldn't have any sort of video dang near without the mention of the GOAT one, Spidey. I'm blew away by this game. Okay, so once again, the controls of this are simple, but we got some factors here that we gon' address. First off, for a PS3 Spider-Man game at the time, we had Spider-Man 3, this, I know Web of Shadows, which was solid, but it didn't look as good as this Web of Shadows didn't. I don't feel like anyways. But this game looked really good. You get to use all the dope suits. Like, what could you want more? The transition, I'm sorry, I'm skipping all over the place, you guys. The enthusiasm about so Madam Web is in this thing. They got Stan Lee narrating it, like back in the PS1 game on Spider-Man PS1, if any you guys would play that. The narration of Stan Lee, I got that forever. And then you got all the different variation of costumes and suits. Now, a little knock on it, you know what I mean? I was struggling a little bit. Granted, I was getting gameplay for this, you know. I've been playing the PS4 Spider-Man a lot more, so once again, the controls are a little foreign or funky, and the combos are kind of, they're all right. I wouldn't go bragging about that this is the best technically sound game that you would get. It's just a good beat 'em up. A good beat 'em up with a solid story, a lot of dope, just detailed things that you would want in a superhero game. I don't ask much for games that I get for less than like $10, and this is another game that I got like in the 9 range in a bundle, which is crazy, and I'll get to in a second. Actually, here in a second. So we're gonna move on to the next game, and that is Portal 2. Now, Portal is a game that I actually first off did not play on the PS3. My buddy Terry, shout out Terry, and my buddies over there at Nerdum Unite, they run a good group, and I have a good YouTube channel as well. Y'all should check them out, do podcasts. But my buddy Terry had this Portal 2 on PS4, and I was like, okay, right on. It's different. And then the more I played it, I was like, oh, I'm addicted, because now I want to figure out the puzzle. It's different than any game I ever played. So I like to watch a lot of gaming channels because they play a lot of not weird games, but just some of them are weird. Now, they'll even admit it, but some games are just different. And different sometimes is just amazing. It's just amazing. So I have no complaints about this game other than the fact that it may be a little too short, but that's not ever a bad thing. And I know it has a DLC mode to this, and the further you go, the longer you'll take with a puzzle, but you'll still figure it out. You move pretty smoothly through this because you'll start getting the hang of it. So some of the things you'll have to think about, like where does a portal go, this and that, will be second nature. It'll be about figuring out the new challenge or nuance that they put on that challenge. So I love this game. I think y'all should pick it up. If you can find these games, they're at a lot of like pawn shops or small stores, or check the Facebook Marketplace or something like that, and you'll find a lot of these games that a lot of people that know what they go for higher rates. But if you could find them, I found mostly all these games for under $3 or something, which leads me to another. Before I get there though, so these two, Spider-Man and Portal 2 and Assassin's Creed, actually got from a guy on Mercari in a bundle, and it was crazy. Like, it was just because Spider-Man on its own cost more than what I pay for the whole lot. I'm gonna just put it to you that way. So I'm thoroughly glad that I retained some value back on some of these games. And you gotta just check the sale racks and stuff at Mega Replay or whatever kind of video game store you got, because the PS3 games are not really that high right now. There are some that are, but not a bunch of dope ones, which leads me into one of the dopest games ever that I'm actually thinking about getting into after I play a little Dragon Ball. Is Ninja Gaiden. And this one is fire, man. I'm sorry I gotta look at the case because it just brings back fond memories. My brother and my cousin and me would play this. I want to say this was on PS2 first, because we didn't have a PS3, I don't believe. And if we did, it's just over my head. Maybe they'll tell me I'm wrong, but we put hours in this game just to keep beating it on the different difficulties. And it's just a true kind of like ninja game, because you can't go into this willy-nilly, guys. You cannot go into this willy-nilly. I'm telling you. You will get slashed and hacked up. It's a lot of things coming at you from different directions. There's a lot of different sword techniques that the enemies are using. People disappear and pop up right in front of you or behind you. They got all sorts of stuff going, different sorts of bosses. Like, I love it. I love the adventure part of it, the roam. I love the customization of items. Different, you can get nunchucks, a sword, bow and arrow, all sorts of stuff on this game. You use different orbs to gain your health up, and it's just a classic game that I could play forever, because it's not super long. And once you like remember how to play it again and what you have to do, like, oh, okay, yeah, you gotta get real fancy technical with these guys, or else you're gonna die. But I love Ninja Gaiden. I'm glad I picked it up. $3. Amazing. So if you guys could pick any of these games up, I suggest you pick them up. I think they're worth getting at a good price. Now, I would not go crazy and spending on. I say you take your time with all retro stuff, because what I've learned is collecting, buying anything, if you can get it cheap and it's going to be cheap, do that and take your time. Don't worry about getting it just to have it, because as soon as you get the $10 one, somebody will put up a $2 to $3 one if you're looking. Now, before we cut out of here though, got a couple honorable mentions. Got Prince of Persia. This is the trilogy. So this is all of the first three, which is I know they had remade it, and I think that was on the PS4. It might have been on PS. I think it was on PS3 as well. They remade it, but the first three are actually my favorite. I actually had them on the GameCube, and they ported them all over, like they did with the God of War collection, and they got I know they did with the Batmans eventually. So they have a lot of stuff that they ended up doing this with. So it's 3 games in one. That's another game I got for like $6. check that out. Last of Us. So I have this on PS4, but this came with something, and it was like, it's so cheap because all that's on here now is the main story, pretty much, because they actually shut down the servers for The Last of Us, which is a super duper bummer. So that happened, but hey, it's still a dope game. Batman Origins. So Batman Arkham Origins, I'm sorry. I don't think I played this one, but I think I might. I can't really quite remember, but this is another really solid Batman game. Before I jump into this or the Arkham City, I'm going to Arkham Knight. Before I jump into Arkham Knight, I'm going to be jumping into that Arkham City first. And this is a good one that I got on the PS4 as well, that I'm going to be eventually doing all the games on my PS4 in my collection, and that is Skyrim. Now, I hated on Skyrim. That's just because there's so much hype, you guys. There's just so much hype. Like, everywhere I go, it's just like, yeah, those games are cool, but have you played Skyrim? That lasted for like almost a decade, dang near. Like, whenever Skyrim came out, it was heavily played by a lot of people. People that I didn't even know that play video games or wouldn't normally play video games was playing Skyrim. So then that leads me to the last one, and that is Assassin's Creed 3. And this is actually the last of the Americas edition. They have the 3 parts to the Americas. So they, I don't know. Maybe y'all can explain it to me in the comments. But how I know Assassin's Creed to be is like, it's just a bunch of different time zones, but they kind of lump some in the same sort of, era, kind of, in a way. So it's not too spread out, and then they hop to another point in time and they do a couple games. Maybe I could be wrong. I know the new one, Valhalla, one of those two. Yeah, somebody yelled it in the back. That is coming out on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. So, appreciate you guys for hanging in there with that. Those are all the stuff that I got for you. Let me know what games that you guys are going to get. The next 3 games I kind of want to get is maybe the God of War editions. Man, I want to get SpiderMan 3. Because the game is actually better than the movie. And probably get Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast 2. Because that was actually probably the best. Now, I know my buddy Carlos told me about Burst Limit, I think. But I don't know if that was just on a specific concert or not. I think that might have been just on Wii, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. But you guys let me know what I should get next. Let me know what some of your favorite PS3 games of all time that I don't have here, that's not coming right. I need some good ones, because I look and I'm really choosy right now. So it has to be, if it's gonna be a lot, has to be really worth it. So then I can find one at a good price and get it. But if it's just something I could try out, let me know. And it's not even a big deal. $2 is all right. I got a couple quarters. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you could. I appreciate that. And I'll be back with you soon with a podcast. Thank you guys. Take it easy. Be cool. Thank you for taking the time.